now.
Fire Emblem The Blazing Blade, the first game in the series developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo, is what the franchise is all about. Human tales of loss and redemption are hidden in the grit of beautifully designed grid-based combat. Every character, even the weakest farm boys who would go on to be powerful knights, feels important with their own backstory, relationships and specialties, and losing a soldier was never an option. Fire Emblem Three Houses takes this idea and puts it centre stage, realising a direction the series has been taking in a way that has never been done before. It prioritises stories like these over combat. A poor girl living in poverty turned songstress, or a shut-in archer with a childhood of abuse. With a Persona-like relationship simulator that tasks you with learning the likes, dislikes, histories and ambitions in order to build an army you care about.
Felix is the heir to House Fraldarius. He has a bit of a sharp tongue, but don't let that fool you. Deep down, he's a good guy.
The tight, challenging turn-based combat is still there, it's just not all that Fire Emblem is anymore. As the series has evolved over the years, the focus has increasingly moved towards the character-focused elements of each game. While you'll still share tea and observe characters to increase relationship points, the story feels serious. I was attached to the plot all the way through, although I wish the player character had an actual personality and not act as a surrogate for whoever is holding the controller. I will admit I was hesitant about the Hogwarts-esque setting of the game. I didn't understand how a group of students would fit on the battlefield, or how being a professor would work into the tactical world of Fire Emblem, but each in-game week was more action-packed than the last. I became deeply invested in building a team of close-knit killers.
Well then, Professor, what do you think? As you can see, the Blue Lion House is a lively bunch. You'll find none who work harder.
The entire game is broken into weekly segments where I instructed students by giving them two specialties, lance and bow for example, and then used my weekend free time to talk to students and other characters. I built relationships, completed different quests such as fishing, plant harvesting and fetch quests, and I gained trust, renown, experience and money. Grid-based combat is back in full force with more depth than previous entries. New mechanics like combat arts, which are special powers like the ability from an archer to shoot 5 spaces away, battalions and their gambits, namely troops with unique abilities you can assign to each character, all make battles feel more complicated and visually satisfying while remaining accessible. Everything that we love about turn-based battles is also still present in Fire Emblem Three Houses. There is still a wide range of classes with your expected healers, paladins and archers, as well as a variety of map layouts. The big standout change is the addition of demonic beasts. These are new enemy creatures that take up several squares on the map, have multiple health bars and protective shields that need to be broken. They usually require a coordinated approach that can mix things up during a fight. My biggest issue when playing through the combat in Three Houses is the difficulty. I played through it on both difficulties available at the beginning with little resistance from the CPU controlled enemies. That doesn't mean there wasn't the occasional mission where I got a little too bold and got someone killed, but thankfully Fire Emblem Three Houses rewind feature lets me back up to before the moment they died, letting me correct the mistake instead of having to physically restart the game like the good old days. It's a welcome quality of life feature that hardcore players can ignore in favour of a tougher challenge. After playing through 45 hours of Fire Emblem Three Houses, I'm already prepared to start another file to see how the story differs with the other houses. Even if the main plot doesn't get altered much, the individual stories behind each character are gripping. I've always cared about my squad while playing Fire Emblem, but Three Houses made that sense of care a passion, and we give it 5 stars.